Good morning, dear children. Today, once again, we are back to our English class. So, let us learn chapter number 7, that is Dasu part 1. And this story is uh, about a little boy and his brave dog Dasu. As you can see here in the first line, is given that Hatukotu lived in Tibet, the land of high mountains. This story tells of the bravery of his dog Dasu. So let's start. Dasu was a tiny, fluffy haired black puppy. Okay, but Dasu, he was very tiny, but he has very fluffy head and black in color. When Hatukotu found him, the little creature was lying curled up against his mother, who had died of cold and hunger. Hatukotu loved animals dearly, so he picked up the puppy and put him into the front folds of his long tunic to keep him warm. In return, Dasu feebly, weakly tried to lick the boy's hand. And Hatukotu was his friend from that moment. So Hatukotu found Dasu lying curled up nearby the dead body of his mother. And next, very carefully, the boy carried the puppy home to the camp where his family lived, and there he gave his some um, warm milk. Soon Dasu was able to stand up on his trembling legs and to wag his curly tail as a sign of thanks. And Hatukotu took such animals like Dasu home and looked after him with much care and affection. So at first, Hatukotu hid the puppy, for he was afraid that his parents would not allow him to keep such a weak and starving animal. But when Dasu become fat and sleek, he showed him to his mother. So Hatukotu gave Dasu a warm milk and good food to eat at home, which helped him to recover very fast from his illness. Hatukotu hid Dasu in the beginning because he thought that his parents may scold him for bringing yet another starving and weak animal home. But Hatukotu, he was very brave. He loved animal, so he want to keep Dasu at home. That's why he showed Dasu to his parents when he became very fat and sleek. Then when Hatukotu showed Dasu to his parents, what was his parents' reaction? Another dog? His mother said, okay. Another dog? She said thoughtfully. Have we not dogs in plenty? What about the goat and sheep flocks? Why do you want to bring yet another? It means another mouth to feed, okay? And food is already scarce. However, the woman spoke to Hatukotu's father about it, and he, after much grumbling, agreed to let his son keep the puppy. So Hatukotu's mother was not very happy to take Dasu into house because they already had dogs in plenty and there was scarcity of food at home. But however, she spoke to Hatukotu's father about it, and about much grumbling, about much complaint, Hatukotu's father agreed to let his keep son the puppy. Okay, but we must be trained to the sheep, but he must be trained to the sheep. Okay, declared the man. We cannot have any useless animal here. So Hatukotu promised to train Dasu, and before long, the dog learned to perform his duties very well, taking care of or look after the flock of sheep. Okay, and Dasu was quite fearless and would face even Lala, the great who led the flocks, so he knew well that Lala had a huge fear of curbing horns as a very nasty temper. When the cold weather came, Hatukotu's father gathered his flock together and loaded them with little skin bags of borax, which is a kind of salt found in Tibet. They were to carry these bags down to India, where the Tibetans would exchange both the flocks and the borax for food and clothes. So he had to go to succeed fully in his attempt to teach Dasu to look after the flocks of sheep. So Hatukotu's father took his flocks in Cointer down to India, where the Tibetans would exchange both the flocks and the borax for food and clothes. Now the family's little tents, blackened with smoke, were rolled up and strapped on the backs of a small herd of donkeys. Hatukotu's father and mother put on all their clothes, for that was the easiest way of carrying them. Then, with their bundles of their bags, they began to drive the ship down to steep mountain track. What gruntings and cries and shrill whistle and excited barking of sheepdogs could be heard as the party set out upon its long journey to the plains of India. And they had to follow some of the steep mountains. Okay, steep mountains, that means the narrow track, okay, that went along the edge of great rocky cliffs, and they rolled up and strapped on the backs of a herd of donkeys their belongings, for that was the easiest way of carrying their things. Now, some of the narrow track which they had to follow went along the edge of great rocky cliffs. Sometimes their path led them over a dashing stream, which they had to cross a bridge made of a single log of wood. Hatukotu and his family were used to such things. They marched across a swaying long log, just as if they were crossing a wide bridge, and they did not think very much about it. One of the men who could play very sweetly on a flute used to help them along in their weary marches, playing quaint little tunes. Beside the rams carried big deep tones well, which rang as the animals walked, so there was always plenty of music as the procession made its long journey southward. So on the journey on the way to the southward was very difficult for them, because they have to uh, cross the wide bridge and the steep mountain, and the road condition was very bad, and that was very narrow track that went along the edge of great rocky cliffs. Okay, that was very dangerous, but Hatukotu and his families are used to with this, and they were not much care about these difficulties, because as they went along, one of the men played quaint little tunes on his pipe beside this deep tone. Bells of the animals rang as they walked. So likewise they continued their journey towards the southward. Okay, so likewise this story is ended up here. So we'll see in the next video, Dasu part 2, what will happen to their family and the dog Dasu. Okay, so till then, take care and study well for the exam. Thank you.